She's a world-renowned oncologist whose career has spanned more than 60 years, and her work has impacted the lives of millions across the world.
Now I'm 92. I still have the ability to do something for the benefit of humanity.
And she wants to be remembered for one thing.
Audrey Evans, a woman who cared.
Who is this modern hero?
My name is Audrey Evans, and this is my story.
Audrey's journey began in 1925 in the historic walled city of York, England.
I grew up in a middle-class family. I had my mother and father, a sister who was 6 years older than me, a brother who was 2 years older than me.
From the time she was 5 years old, her path in life was clear.
I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. Fortunately, my parents believed that girls should do as well as boys, so off I set on this rather tortuous business of graduating to be a doctor.
So off she went to the Royal College of Surgeons in Edinburgh. But learning the material was far from easy.
I never excelled in school because I have a memory problem. Most people learn things from what they read, and I remember things from what I hear. And so I had trouble in medical school. I failed my first year in anatomy. So to regroup, somebody taught me anatomy verbally. We looked at pictures and he talked.
Wow.
I literally scrambled through until I got to the clinical part. I could talk between the medical staff and the families.
A great connector.
I was a good connector, that's true.
Audrey finished her degree in 1953 and headed to Boston Children's Hospital, where she spent 2 years of her residency on a coveted Fulbright fellowship. She trained under pathologist and leukemia pioneer Dr. Sidney Farber, also known as the father of modern chemotherapy. In 1955, she spent 1 year at Johns Hopkins before heading back to England to the Royal Infirmary Teaching Hospital, where for a period of time she was the only female resident among the guys.
You were outnumbered by the guys. So what was that like? Did it affect you?
Well, I guess I thought perhaps I would have got on better if I'd been a man, but it didn't worry me. I managed to do what I wanted to do. I just sort of laughed at it.
That must have been hard, though, being the only woman.
No, I guess I wouldn't call it hard. More amusing.
You really love what you do.
I loved what I did, and I was having fun. I just knew where I was going. I was on a plan. I was lucky to be there. I was well aware of that.
After completing her residency, Audrey packed her bags and headed back to Boston Children's Hospital, where she found her true calling, treating kids with cancer. In 1964, she carried that passion to the Hematology Oncology Unit at the University of Chicago. And 5 years later, she was recruited by C. Everett Koop, the former Surgeon General of the United States, as the first chief of pediatric oncology at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, where she later founded the Children's Cancer Center and ultimately spent the remainder of her medical career.
And what was that like coming to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia?
It was a perfect job for me. I was taking care of sick kids, and I was listening to this sermon at church, and God calling a woman who cared. And I thought, wow, that's who called me. So I'm going to have tears now. So I knew at that sermon, God, that's why I came to Philadelphia, to take care of children with cancer, because at the time I came, There wasn't much else you could do but care.
And cared she did. In fact, she took a total care approach by tending not just to her patients' medical needs, but also their social, emotional, and spiritual needs, while also providing support for their families. Sometimes that even meant sneaking in a pet or two to brighten kids' days while in treatment. But despite her efforts, some outcomes were unavoidable.
I knew a lot of them were going to die, and I could talk about dying. I could talk to kids about dying. Heaven is whatever you want it to be.
Do you fear death?
No, of course not. Heaven is where you meet your friends. It's just a lovely place.
In 1971, Dr. Evans developed the revolutionary Evans staging system, which analyzes cancer progression to determine the best treatment plans for kids battling neuroblastoma, one of the most common solid tumors in childhood cancer. For her work, she's been credited for decreasing mortality rates by a whopping 50% for neuroblastoma patients, earning herself the moniker the mother of neuroblastoma.
You're curing cancer and saving kids' lives.
I'm stamping out cancer.
I mean, that's groundbreaking.
It's groundbreaking.
And her transformative work spans beyond the hospital walls. Throughout her career, Dr. Evans noticed that families had nowhere to stay while their kids were being treated, and she was determined to change that by creating a home away from home, free of charge.
This is where the Ronald McDonald House program started.
In 1974, Audrey and Jimmy Murray, the former general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, co-founded the Ronald McDonald House Charities to provide lodging, resources, and care to children and families in need. Since opening, the Ronald McDonald House Charities span more than 63 countries, have 360 locations, and have helped over 7 million families. They've even opened camps, hospitality rooms and hospital wings, and are launching Ronald McDonald Care Mobiles, which are mobile medical units serving communities that don't yet have Ronald McDonald House programs.
If I go to a McDonald House, somebody takes care not only of a child who's staying there, but she takes care of the whole family, and that's just a beautiful idea.
Amidst her illustrious career, Audrey also managed to fit in time for her other passions in life, like horseback riding, scuba diving, and even sheep farming. And at 80 years old, she celebrated another momentous occasion, marrying her longtime friend and esteemed colleague of 40 years, Dr. Dan Danjo.
You just got married when you were 80. I read that you guys got married at 7:30 in the morning.
No.
What, no?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. I'm so sorry. My sources were wrong.
Then we went across the street where we had croissant and coffee and juice, and then we were at work at 8:30.
After an unrivaled medical career that spanned 6 decades, Dr. Evans retired in 2009 at the age of 84. But stepping down wasn't easy.
I missed the kids. I really had a depression, and I thought I must get something to fill my life. So God took care of that.
2 years later, in 2011, she co-founded the St. James School, a school that aims to break the cycle of poverty by providing under-resourced youth with an extended school year.
Once again, you're taking your total care approach, just like you did in the hospitals, just like you do at the Ronald McDonald House, and you've applied it to St. James.
True.
So you have no sign of slowing down.
I still have the ability to do something for the benefit of humanity.
Throughout her lifetime, Dr. Evans has received just about every award possible in the field of pediatric oncology. But the impact she has made in the lives of millions is impossible to quantify.
Looking at your life and all the things that you've accomplished, What do you think when you think about the things you've done?
I was given a mission and I was given the ability to serve it.
And what was that mission?
Make a difference in the lives of children.